Hey guys, it's Julian from Beneath the Bunk Studios. I hope you're doing wonderfully. Today, we are Beneath the Bunk discussing what you can do with effects on your vocals in order to make them sound more polished, more professional, snazzier, bigger, wider, and all those other wonderful adjectives we like to use that we've come to know and love. Let's get right into it. So here we are in Pro Tools. We're looking at a song called Trouble in Paradise. As of the filming of this video, it's the newest song from my solo project, Poems of Sorts. The link will be in the description if you want to check it out. Anyway, the section that we're going to be dealing with sounds a little bit like this.
So tell me why I still care about you and the ring you wear. Do you really think that's fair? Yeah, it's not your fault I'm aware. Do you really think that's fair? Yeah, it's not your fault I'm aware. Text you when I'm drunk and I can't hold my tongue. How come I...
So going into this song, I knew that I wanted to have a pretty poppy vibe. I wanted the vocals to sound pretty smooth, pretty big, and pretty wide, and all those adjectives I threw at you at the intro of this video. So let's see how I did that. So here we have the main vocal from this part. I'm going to solo it and make sure all the processing is off so that you guys could hear what it sounds like raw.
So tell me why I still care about you and the ring you wear. Do you really think that's fair? Yeah, it's not your fault I'm aware. Do you really
So with the effects, but with no reverb or delay or anything, so with compression and EQ and de-essing, it sounds like this.
So tell me why I still care about you and the ring you wear. Do you really think that?
And with reverb and delay and anything else that I have going on here, it sounds like this.
So tell me why I still care about you and the ring you wear. Do you really think that's fair? Yeah, it's not your...
So let's look at what I have going on here. I have V Micro, which is the name I give to this send that has Soundtoys little micro shift on it, which is a nice little chorusing plugin. We also have V Delay S, which is a short delay. That's what the S stands for. And obviously V is for vocal. V Delay L, which is vocal delay long, so that is the actual, you know, like the real delay where you could hear all the reflections. That was a really good imitation of a delay, I know. And then we have V-Verb L, which is Vox Reverb Long. And V-Verb S, this grayed out one, that's just built into my template, which is a short reverb, and I ended up not using it, which is why it's grayed out, so ignore that. So what we have on these light green tracks here is all the effects that I was just talking about. We have the Vox Micro Shift with the little micro shift on it, we have the Vox Short Delay, we have the Vox Long Delay, and we have the Vox Long Reverb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in these effects one by one so you could hear what each one is adding exactly. Some are going to be more subtle than others, so I definitely recommend listening on good speakers or headphones so that you could really hear what's going on here, because if you're listening in mono, you're probably going to get nothing out of this video. Let's start with little micro shift, and let's start with it off, and then let's turn it on. This is basically a chorusing plugin for anybody who doesn't know. That's just adding a little bit of width. That's pretty much all you're going to hear without.
So tell me why I still care about you and the ring you wear.
And with.
So tell me why I still care about you and the ring you wear.
Pretty subtle, but it definitely does something. All it does is just make the dry vocal sound a little bit wider, and that's definitely what we're going for, so it serves its purpose. Now we're going to look at the short vocal delay, which I have here, and we're going to open up the plugin that I'm using in order to make this happen, which is another Soundtoys plugin, and that is Echo Boy, a wonderful delay. And we have the feedback pretty low. We have a very short, very fast slapback settings rather, alternating on the left and the right, so that the left sounds different from the right, so that we're creating that stereo image, and this is what that's adding. So without it.
So tell me why I still care about you and the ring you wear.
With it.
So tell me why I still care about you and the ring you wear.
I'm going to do that again because it was pretty subtle. Really pay attention to how it's widening it. So without it.
So tell me why I still care
and with
about you and the ring you wear.
Like I said, pretty subtle, not doing a whole lot in this mix, but it's working together with that little micro shift chorus plugin in order to add even a little bit more wideness than was already there from the little micro shift. So That sounds great. Loving it. Let's talk about the delay long that I have running, and I'm going to pull up Echo Boy, which is what I'm using. Again, really low feedback, so we're getting one repeat and then it's cutting out, and then we have quarter notes on both sides, and it's set to dual echo mode. So we're going to solo the vocal again with the delay. It sounds like this.
So tell me why I still care about you and the ring you wear.
And without.
So tell me why I still care about you and the ring you wear.
So cool, adding some delays. Really, you can hear what it's doing. I don't really need to explain it to you. Let's talk about what I'm using for this reverb. So we got Valhalla Vintage Verb. Gotta love it. It's a classic. Pre-delay on 20 milliseconds. I think this is actually totally stock settings. And this is also, like the long delay, is going to be super noticeable. So with the reverb that I'm showing on the screen right now, it sounds like this.
So tell me why I still care about you and the ring you wear.
Without.
So tell me why I still care
And with.
about you and the ring you wear.
Pretty obvious. Don't really need to explain that to you. Just creating space, creating some length on the vocal, and I think it sounds great. So within the context of the mix, let's hear what all these things are adding. So I'm going to add them in one by one as this section of the song plays, and you're going to hear how the vocal is evolving and how it's starting to sound wider and a little bit more polished. So one more time, within the context of the mix, I'm going to play the main vocal without any of these effects, and then I'm going to bring them on one by one, and you're going to be able to hear what they're adding.
So tell me why I still care about you and the ring you wear. Do you really, really think that's fair? Yeah, it's not your fault, I'm aware.
Okay, cool. So that's that, and now we're going to move on to the dub, which is absolutely crucial to this process, just about as crucial as those effects that I just finished showing you. So what is the dub? In this case, the dub is just going right down the middle. It's overlapping the entire vocal. Everything that the main vocal is singing, it's singing as well. The melody is the same. It's not a harmony. It's just going right down the middle, and it sounds like this.
So tell me why I still care about you and the ring you wear. Do you really, really think that's...
So if you're listening with headphones and you're astute, the main thing you're going to notice is that it sounds like it's on the left and it sounds like it's on the right. Why that is because I'm using Waves Doubler on it. And this is another step in the widening process. Everything that I'm doing, as you can see, is about widening. And that's another bit of what we're doing here. So if you look at Waves Doubler, you could tell that I'm taking off the direct signal, so there's nothing going down the middle. You could see that representation in this graph here. So with the direct, you see that light up, and without it, you see it not. And that means that we're just hearing the sides. And that's exactly what we want, because we want that width, and we want that sound that makes the vocal seem like it's really popping out. So let's solo these two together, and I'm going to take out the dub, and I'm going to add it back in as this part of the song progresses in solo. So check it out.
So tell me why I still care about you and the ring you wear.
Without the dub.
Do you really, really think that's fair?
And with it.
Yeah, it's not your fault, I'm aware. Do you really, really think...
So another change that's pretty subtle when you really take it out of context and put it in solo, but in the grand scheme of things, it really adds up with the little micro shift chorus. It really adds up with the short delay and the long delay and the long reverb to create this space, to create this width that definitely wasn't there before. So let's hear it in the context of the mix with and without the dub. Also, note that the dub is not going to any of these effects. They're all disabled over here. So it's just the dry vocal with the doubler plugin so that it gets that width. That's all I'm using this for. So without the dub in the context of the mix, it sounds like this.
So tell me why I still care about you and the ring you wear.
And with it.
Do you really, really think that's fair? Yeah, it's not your fault, I'm aware.
Do you hear how it adds that extra layer of consistency and smoothness and width? Check it out one more time. Without it.
So tell me why I still care about you and the ring you wear.
And with it.
So tell me why I still care about you and the ring you wear.
Cool. So just to backtrack, I want to bypass all the plugins on the original main vocal, and I want to also mute the dub that I just showed you. And I want to show you from where it started to where it is now. So without the dub and without any effects, it sounded like this.
So tell me what I still care about you and the ring you wear.
With the effects but not the dub, it sounds like this.
So tell me what I still care about you and the ring you wear.
And with the dub and the effects, it sounds like this.
So tell me what I still care about you and the ring you wear.
Alright guys, that's all I got for today. I really hope you enjoyed this. Hope you got something out of it. If you have any questions about anything I said in this video, if you're confused about anything at all, please leave a comment, and I promise there's a 100% chance I will get back to you and address your question. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like and or a subscription, and enjoy the rest of your day/night. Talk to you later.